I'm Dave Wilhelmsen, and I'm going to be doing an art lesson today, teaching you to paint. And today we're going to be doing something very special. Today at Ironwood Cancer Center here in Chandler, and today we're going to be painting a Tuscan countryside. A little acrylic painting in acrylic paints. It's going to be so exciting, and it's going to be easy, and it's going to be beautiful. Thank you. Today we're going to be doing acrylic painting, and it's going to be a smaller one. I'm doing it on an 11 by 14 size canvas. This is my finished painting. As you can see, there's so many different colors today. We're going to focus on primary colors and mixing the primary colors to get these secondary colors that are in here. First, what we're going to learn to do is we're going to be drawing out simply. It's not too difficult, but simply we're going to be drawing out the basics for this painting, and a lot of it will be covered up with the paint, so you don't have to worry about pencil lines showing. We're going to get started on our blank canvas, but just so you can see, in the foreground is this small houses, the background of the smaller houses like faded away, and then the fields in the back, and then the mountains and the beautiful sky. And in the foreground we also have a lot of florals going on here, but nothing too detailed. So I think you'll be able to handle this and have fun with it. Now you can see our empty canvas here. Okay, now what I want you to do is you have your pencil, and you can just, if you have a ruler it helps, but try to get the middle of the canvas a vertical line going top to bottom right in the middle, and then on the side horizontal line from side to side in the middle here. Mine being 11 by 14, I have in the middle here 7 inches in the middle, and on the 11 I have 5.5 up. Okay, now we have the horizontal and vertical lines in place. We're going to draw the background mountains. So right between the middle line here and the top of the canvas, we're going to go again and get that in half, roughly in half, just guessing right here. And I'm going to go with a wavy line of the free form of the mountains right here. Okay, so that's our background mountains. Then another one half between the mountains and that middle line here. We're going to do another, this is the horizon line, and this is going to be more or less sort of straight, but free form again, as you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, and then we have the mountains and the background horizon line. We have one more right below this line here. We're going to sort of use that line as where the fields are. And then we have another one right from here, like 2/3 of the way up, from the bottom to the middle line, is going to be a line that starts here, and it gradually slopes down. All right. Now what I want you to do here, right where we started in the middle, we're going to do an S, sort of a curve that goes around and comes down. Okay, this is that road, country road, and we're going to do another line that starts right there, really close to the other line, and then it gradually gets open. Gradually opens up, and it swerves over that way. Okay, so this is our roadway here. Now we're going to draw these little houses. Right in the middle here of this one, we've got the line here between the middle line and the end of the canvas on the left side. We're going to draw a small house here. I want you to draw a box, a rectangle. All right. Then we're going to do a line that comes up and another box at an angle. Okay? Then you're just going to be drawing a roof on it, like that. Do you see there's a triangle here on the side box, and then a little slanted line for the small house. Now we're just going to be doing some windows here. Strikes. Now for the larger house, we're moving it in front. We're going to do another triangle that's bigger. Got that? Now we're going to connect the houses, but you're going to draw a line up here like that, slanted. And now we're going to draw that triangle for the larger house. Okay? And then we have a slanted line again, just like this line here, slanted line, and join on the top. So we have that house. And we're going to do 3 windows on this house, and 1 on the side. Okay? Now we're going to go across the bottom and do a free-form line. That's where all those beautiful florals will be. We're going to do a shrub next to the small house here. And we're going to do a shrubs in front of this house here. Okay. Now in the background, starting in the middle here, we're going to do a small homes. We're just doing these free-form boxes. Let's see, 1 there, 1 here, and 1 here, connected. Okay. We're going to be drawing the angled roof on this one, the angled roof on this one, going that way. Okay. So you have these houses. I want you to take a look at what I did here now for a moment, and I'm going to get into drawing one more thing here that needs to be done are these Tuscan trees. These are long angled trees, and they're going to go like that. We're going to do 4 of them. 1, they're skinny tall trees, very vertical. We make them all different sizes here. And another one, maybe to make that a little bigger. Okay, now I'm finished with the drawing here. All right, and we're going to be getting into the paints. So I have here my brushes, a number 12 brush and a number 6 brush. What I'm going to use is the number 12. I'm going to start with painting in the sky, okay? And I have a white paint. I'm going to take, these are acrylic paints, white acrylic, put it on my palette, and a little bit of the medium blue. Okay, you notice how I put the paint on the white first and then the blue I dipped into it? I try to use the lighter color, which is white, and then a deeper color I dip into it, and I have a beautiful blue color here. See, I mixed them together on my palette. And do the sky here. I'm going around these trees. Don't have to be super fussy. I covered up one of the tree tips, but later on, since acrylics dry really fast, I have more control and I can go over the acrylics. I'm going to mix a little more of that paint. I go back to my white and I put the blue in, and I got another blue here. And it doesn't matter, it could be just slightly another shade of blue. All right, we're going across here. I'm adding some water to my mixed paint here. We don't want to get it too thin. It is acrylic and you want to keep it thick. Okay, mixing a little more. And I'm going up here, and I'm not being that careful about cutting around the mountains. The mountains are going to come later on. They'll be able to cover up the sky. What I like to do now while I'm working on the sky is I just add some white. Okay, put it down, mix it a little bit on my palette. I'm going to draw some clouds up here. Okay. All right, while we're in the sky, let's just finish this up. We might come back to it later on to add a few details to the clouds. All right. All right, and they're wispy clouds in the background. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hop into doing the, we want to do colors that are not touching one another. So what we're going to be doing here is mixing our green. We're going to be doing the greens in here. Okay, so looking at the original painting, you can see I'm going to be doing mainly in here the foreground and then some of the background and some of the trees. So there again on my palette, I'm going to go from lighter to darker here. I'm going to start out with the white, put that down, a lot of white. Then I'm going to take yellow. It's like a medium yellow. Medium yellow. You can use a light yellow. I always think that the medium yellow is going to work great. I mix those two together. Then what I have is it's like a medium green. Medium green. Little, not too much of that, all right? Not too much. And I'm mixing it, I'm getting a color like this. Sort of like a light to medium green. But that yellow really boosted up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in here, under the houses. Okay. Paint along there. Don't want to get it on that roadway, but there again, if you get it on the roadway later on, we can cover up the green. Okay, I'm going around here. All right, then in here, in this hill here, I'll be doing this. Still using this large brush because this is the large areas. We got a couple large areas to do in this painting. As you can see, I'm filling in here. This is a solid background color here for the grass. And I'm going to be doing up above, we're going to do the trees, but only on the right side of the trees. I'm going to be doing this. Okay. Nice thing about this brush is that when you press it down on the palette, it has a flat edge, and I can get, if you're using a bristle brush, it might be easier. These are like a watercolor acrylic brushes. Okay, so this is the light side of those trees. If you do the whole tree with it, it's okay. We can come back and do the cover up when we're doing the darker side. Now, in the background, I'm going to add more white. Add more white to that green in your palette. For this color here, good, that's good right there. The background, when it's in the distance, it's always lighter. It's like washed out. All right, I might need to add a little more white to that. It's very bleached out. And what I'm going to do here is that between the trees, I'm just going to put I want to lighten that up. See, I'm doing a vertical stroke between those trees. All right, so I got this here. Now I'm going to add more white to that already light green. And what I'm going to do is on the top of this background color, you can see it's fading right up here. Okay, I'm going to do that here. Do a little there, a little there, a little there, and a little there. Now, the only other thing I have to do here, if a green, is in this foreground here, I'm going to go back to adding yellow, the medium yellow, and that green, just a dab of green, see? And I'm going to use that for the foreground, the front here, on the very bottom of the painting, in here. Now I'm going to go along the whole bottom of the painting, here, and I'm going up and down with it, up and down. I don't want to touch anything here along that line if possible. All right. So this way, still have it as a guideline. Okay. Now, we're going to go into our next color. We're going to leave the green for now. And what we're going to do is, we're going to focus on in here. Okay. And up here. Now what I have here is I have a violet color. But I'm going to need to get white first because I want to use it as a light color. So what do is I got my white and I put in my violet color. Okay, purple or violet. If you don't have purple, you got to add red, and medium blue. All right, you're going to get a similar color. Okay, what I have here is a light lavender. Okay, and what I want to do here is behind the houses here on the lower level, I'm going to be putting this in. Look at how nice this is. These colors are coming together really nice. They're lights, there's nothing too dark yet. This is still in like sort of the back. Going around these houses, I'm using my larger brushes. If you feel more comfortable with the smaller brush, go ahead. And what I do is I got this here. I'm leaving a little gap between this green here in the background, the very distance, and this lavender color. Okay, and I'm going back and forth my brush here, and I don't want to get too close to that green. I'm going to have a lot of other stuff going on in this. Now between the trees, I'm going to go again like this. All right. Okay, and what we got here is, okay, that, now for back here we're going to be doing, I got to add more white. I'm going to add a lot of white to this lavender, and I have a really washed out color here. And that's in the very distant mountains here. See this? Look at that. I'm going to be doing this. It's like a sort of pinkish lavender. Now what I'm going to do here, I got a really rough here. See, look at how nice that is. And then back here, there again, I'll put this here, 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 and here. And I just trim it, go along the mountaintops here. Okay. Now, I'm going to be doing a little bit more lavender into that very light, and a little bit of lavender, and a little bit of this blue, medium blue. Now I have a very interesting color, and what I'm going to do is have this deepish bluish lavender, and we're going to go along here. Ooh, look at how dark that is. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go along here, streak it along. See, you can go over the green. It's a free form color here. Look at that. I blend it. You notice how I blend it as I go along here? Okay, and we're going to do that along here too. We're going to add a little bit more violet and a little bit of blue. What I have here is, along here, add that there, add it here. Now, what we're going to do here is, this is like, we're going to just go at lines. This is like the fields here. I'm trying to get that thinness of my brush. Look at that. Okay. These are impressionistic brush strokes. They're bold. All right, gonna go a little bit over this house here, over here. All right, now I'm gonna add a little white to that. Little white, so I'm gonna have a color like this. All right, now I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna put the along these brush strokes on this. These are like the fields with the crops in them. They're planting. And we're going to give a little more detail later on to this. There we go. I'm going to fade this away. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to focus on the houses here using my still number 12 brush. And what I'm going to do is the rooftops. We're going to get into the earthy colors. So we're going to have first this yellow ochre. It's like a medium beigeish yellow. I'm going to put that down on my palette. Okay. Then what we're going to do is use a red, just a dot of red. See that? Mix that together with the yellow ochre. You should have a color like this. It's a reddish ochre. I want to get a little more red in there. All right, so it's like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the roof like this. That's good. I'm going to fill in the whole roof. Let's get that whole roof painted here. Add just a dab of water to thin it out a little bit so it flows better. And there's my first rooftop. Okay, and the little one here. This little rooftop. More water there. All right, now I'm going to add white to that mixture because I want to do the ones in the distance are going to be a little lighter. Okay, so what I'm going to do here. I still have this big brush, but I'm able to do it. If you feel better with doing it with the small brush, this is now the time. Okay, we're going to switch over to the smaller brush, the number 6 I have, but my number 6 brush, I always wet them and I put in my paper towel so it's damp. So now what we do is we have our rooftops there. I'm going to go into the front of the house here, the front of the houses. What I use here is it's going to be white. Nice load full of white. Okay. And I'm putting it down on my palette. And just a little bit of blue, medium blue. Okay, just a little bit of blue. Okay, I want to get it really light. I'm going to show you how light I want to get this blue. It's like a powder blue, like this. Okay. See that? Now, the front of the house, we're going to cover up those windows. We'll come back. We're just going to do freeform the windows later. I'm going to fill in the front of the house here. Okay. Then we're going to fill in the front of the house here. Okay. We're going to fill in this house here. The front here. Okay, the front right on the side. This all faces the sunlight here, on the side of that. So take a moment and look at that. What we're going to do next is we're going to put a little more medium blue. See on my brush? I'm going to mix it into that, make it a little bit darker until you get a little deeper blue than the front of the house. Now I'll show you here how deep it is. Look, that's a little deeper. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to, with the smaller brush now. Okay, and that's the side of the house. Oop, 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 boom. There we go. You can have a lot of fun with this. You can freeform it. As I said, these are impressionistic brush strokes. It's really the color with the bruled. I'm going out of the line because this brush sometimes gets too thick with paint. We're going to cover that up with paint right there, or watch what I do now. I just want to go over that. That's a straight line there now. See with the white, you can come back and place in the white there. Okay, so now getting back to where we're going to put that darker blue, I want to do these small homes here. Okay. This is definitely a small brush stroke here. All right. You see the colors are starting to come together here now. There's more definition with the houses. All right. Now, we're going to do some of the deeper green. I'm going to move on to that. All right. So with the small brush, I have my green here. This is the green I last used doing the, it's like a medium green. Lighter medium green. Now what I'm going to do here again is we're not going to use that. We're going to get into the florals here. Okay, so I want the white, again, white, and I'm going to put into that lavender that I made here. And I'm going to add more violet and make it a blue, medium blue to the violet. And a little more. I'm going to show you the color I'm coming up with. More violet or purple and more medium blue. So what I'm coming up with now is this color here. Okay, now that's going to go in here. I'm gonna make these brush strokes like rough brush strokes here. Okay. That's gonna go there. And that's gonna go along here, here. Just like some dots and dashes here. And that one there is fine. Okay, now we're going to get into this, the rooftop colors you have there. We're going to lighten those up. I want to get some colors in here which are going to be more reddish orange. So right now I hop into my yellow ochre, like deep beige, and red. And the color I'm going to come up with now is like an orange. Nice creamy orange. So I'm going to do that next to this house. I have white there, but we're going to keep going over this. I'm going to put a shrub there. And then in the front here, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do some up here, spreading them around. Don't want to go into that tree yet. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some strokes onto this road here. You see in the middle? Some rough strokes following in the middle. Put them in the middle. Okay, I'm going to lighten up this orange. I'm going to get a lot of white. And we're going to get back to the rooftops. Okay? And what we have is a really light orange here. And what I do is I'm going to put that onto that roof. Okay? All right, and this one here. Okay, and then these ones down here, I'm going to add white to it. And we got got that. And then we're going to add that to the roadway here. Okay. Okay, and this is the roadway here. All right. I have so much fun with putting details all into this and pulling it together. Okay, now let's get back to the green here. Dark green, medium green, and blue. And we're going to use a little bit of the lavender. Oh, we're diving into these dark colors. So what I come up with is like a nice deepish green. Now, I'm going to be using that on these trees. So we're going to be going along the tree trunks here. We're going to go vertical on that left side of them. Okay, and it's going to look like that. Okay, and then on the left side of this one, trying to keep this just touching the canvas. You could use really small brushes on this. And if you feel like you covered up some of the entire tree, that's all right. It's all right. Okay. And then on this side here, the left side, a skinny line here. And then on this one here, I'm going to go up here. Okay, I'm adding more water to it to let it flow easy. It drags if it's too gummy and thick, the paint. So what you're doing is you just need to get a, there we go. Now I'm going to add some brush strokes to that, like it looks like it's leaves and that gives a texture to it. Okay, now what I do is in the foreground here, I'm going to cast the shadows of the house in here. A little triangle in here, and a little triangle in there. This is the shadows that cast by that one, and this shrub here. And then along with these houses here, there's a little shadow there, and then a shadow here. Now it's giving a little definition. On the bottom here, up in here, I want to do green. Where that purple is, we got to put a little green in there, fill in. Okay. And then, yeah, and here too. Filling in these blank spots along the house. Then on the very bottom, we're going to be doing some dots and dashes of this green here along the bottom. Okay. like a rough edge for this darker green coming up. All right. And then I'm going to add white to this. A little bit of white, and you'll see the color I'm coming up with. It's like a mint green. Here we go, right here. And that's going to be in here on top of the house here. And across the house here. All right, and what you're getting is you're going to get some of the green down here. I want to get this line here. I'm adding water to this because I want to flow much smoother. In here, I'm going to put in this line of green. This is where the field is up here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash out the brush completely, this number 6 brush, the thinner brush, and I leave it damp, and I'm going to blend this like that. I turn over the brush, and I blend the rest of it. All right, so you see a blending here. While it's still damp, the paint, you can more or less fade it, be in the background. And then I'm going to do over here, between these colors here. This white area here between the lavender field area and the back foreground. All right, damp brush again. Here we go. Now I'm going to hop back to these houses here. The rooftop here, I'm going to just do some white highlighting with that orange I have. I'm going to really lighten it up. Okay, and I'm going to be doing along here. And we're going to do the left side along the top roof and some straight lines there, and along this we're adding highlights and shadows now. Highlights and shadows, okay? And down here I'm going to go more white. Now what I want to do is I'm going to have deeper blue in here. Matter of fact, almost straight with the medium blue. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to put a little shadow under the roof here. Okay, and a little shadow under that roof. And then what I do is I put the windows in. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make these straight, a little more defined. And then 1 and 2, 1 over here, 1 over here. I want to do the roof line under here. The roof line under here. All right, and then we're going to do these little houses over here in the corner, in the background, under the roof line here. That under the back roof. This one here, and do here, and under there. A couple of dots, the windows. All right, so we got that. Now, I'm going to use some light green, really light green. I got to get a whole load of white paint and a little bit of yellow and a little bit of that green, that medium green. So I'm going to have a very, very light color. And what I want to do is I want to highlight here. I'm going to bring it down a notch. It's too white. So what I want you to do is have a color like this. It's lighter than what's on the canvas here. And we're going to go, there we go. I'm going to the front where the roadway meets the grass. I want to have it there. And I want to have it up here. And we're bringing a little bit, I'm going to lighten up just a little more and kick it up a notch. Okay. All right, look at that. That's nice. All right, I keep adding some more white to it. And I'm getting this. I'm getting that here. I'm going to add much more white to it. to that green, light green. I'm going to put some highlights back here. And in here. All right. Look at that. Now, I'm going to get into red. I'm going to bring some reds in here. Red, 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 red. And some violet. Okay? And just a dab of white. So having that real rosy lavender, deep lavender. Look at that there. Put some pink. Now we're going to have fun with florals. I want to scatter them along the bottom here. You see that line there? We're going to put them in that line. All right, now we have this over here. Going to put some in there, put some up here, and some in here. And then I'm going to use straight purple or violet in the shadows into here. This is turning out, I want to get it like that Monet, Van Gogh look on the countryside. And here we go. I'm having a lot of fun with this one here, these deep colors here. Okay. And across the bottom, some deeper ones. How about some of that purple? I'm going to put a little bit of medium blue in it. I'm going to go along this here, just on that border here. All right. Now what I'm going to do here, I want to wash my brush out and get the damp thing. I'm going to dampen this. See, look at that. It just washes into it. I'm going to do that with this one along the fields here. Okay, and we wash that. Okay, now we're going to do the roadway here. Oh, it's some light green. I forgot. Light green. I'm going to put some trees in here. I'm going to add a little more green to that. And yellow ochre. I'm going to put some in the distance here. Let me get some stuff going here. Yes. I'm going to put some down here. And some over here. And some down here. All right, now almost coming to the top, to the ending time here. I'm going to use straight white with my brush here, straight white on the paint. And what we're going to do is thin out the brush, and in the roadway here, I'm going to go along the middle of the roadway and draw some streaks along. Now we're going to curve it just like we did here. Okay, we're going to do that to the top of the fields here. All right, some white here, some white on the top of where it meets the mountains here. Meet that horizon line with the mountains. It's sort of like a dry brush, okay? And over here into the grass, we're going to do that. And then what I want to do is just finish it up. A little bit of white on these edges here of the houses. Okay, and we're going to do red, straight red. Okay, right here. Straight red. Use a real thick red for these shrubs, and this one over here. All right. And in the foreground here, some red. And we got one last thing to add here. Red across the bottom here. This is really coming out really colorful. Okay, now white on the brush, and we're going to have white flowers in there. Okay, right on the top here. Some of that red mixture in here. And white in here. Look at that. It kicks it up. so much color, opens it up. I'm going to go here now on the rooftops again, white. Just in the white here. And here. And back here. And back, how about back here? And then with the clouds, here we go. I said we'd do it just on the right sides of the clouds, make the puffiness over here and over here. Okay, and maybe on these trees a little, just a little bit, where it has the sun hitting them. All right, I think we are looking really good, and on this hillside here. Okay. Just one thing bothers me here. I'm going to put yellow ochre, the beige color with the green, and I'm getting that color with a little bit of deeper green, a little red to it. And I'm going to put that in the roadway here. This way it finishes off the roadway. All right. Framing out the roadway a little bit. Okay. To the hillside here. And you drag the brush, and that's it. All right, we have our Tuscan countryside all finished here and ready to go. And if you want to tweak it anymore, you can with your fine brush. Thank you.